Hey, what's up? On the Move with SportzKelz, Sunday edition. I'm taking care of this interview at home. It's been a busy, busy weekend. What can I even say about this weekend except for thank you, Mr. Tim Street, for allowing me to be a part of the OHSAA high school football championship this weekend as showcasing my On the Move with SportzKelz show there. It was a blessing. If you have never been to a high school championship game, you need to go see. It's like the Super Bowl of the NFL. It's like the March Madness, the Final Four of the Big Ten tournament. I mean, the tourney itself. I mean, listen, I'm just a ball of nerves because it's just so much. If you haven't been able to check out my page from my interviews to my photos, updates, listen, go to On the Move with SportzKelz on my Facebook, Twitter, SportzKelz. You can go to my Snapchat, SportzKelz, or my Instagram with SportzKelz. And you will be able to see all the coverage. And I am, sorry about this. I will be having on my line one of the Bishop Hartley football players. So I'm excited to be able to speak with him regarding, how he's feeling 24 hours later and just kind of, ask some questions of, how it is to be a division state champion. All right, so let's get this started. So listen, I have Marwan Perkins. He is number 81, and his mother, Mrs. Jackson. They are going to be on the line today. Woo! I mean, listen, it is so much. So I'm going to call him now. I'm going to call him, and then we're going to just have a conversation. Are you ready? On the Move with SportzKelz. Hello, Miss Marwan. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Well, I am SportzKelz from On the Move with SportzKelz. I just want to say I'm honored and blessed to be able to have you on the line so my listeners can, we can just talk because I was at the game. And man, I just have so much going on. I want to even ask you, and I know you probably do too, 24 hours after this game. So I just want to first say congratulations to you and your team for being Division 4 OHSAA state champions. So is there anything you want to say before we get started? Any shout outs? Because I know this is probably just like a surreal moment for you and your mom and your teammates.
I like to shout out Coach Woodland since he was last year coaching for us and how much he helped us throughout his years here, leading us to back-to-back state champs.
Okay, good. So, like 24 hours, like when it first happened, like how did you feel? Like, because first of all, let's kind of give him a background. Mr. Marwan, am I pronouncing your name right?
Well, so this was my first state championship since I'm a freshman, and everyone else there has done it, has been there, and they went through it. So it's kind of surreal to me, like, wow, it's my first year in high school and I already have a state championship under my belt. And not a lot of people can say that. So I was happy about it. And I took it to heart that this won't be my last time here. So I said,
no, because I mean, like you said, last year, you all won the championship. So I look at it, when I started doing some research on the football playoff as well as just to get there, it's like 15 weeks of hard hitting tour days, not eating what you want. Sometimes, family outings kind of go by the wayside. So how did it, I want to ask you a question like about your mom. Like, how did she keep you rooted and grounded throughout this whole entire year, as well as like you have academics? And then, how did your teammates play into that since you were a freshman and coming in to kind of some high standards? How did that play into you as being a freshman and what you needed to do to prepare to go out here and fight for 15 weeks to even get to, the state championship game?
Well, my mom kept my priorities straight first. School first, academics come before anything. So I always had to have that straight before I could step on the field. And my teammates they motivated me to help everyone around you. We always said that it wasn't for yourself, it was for the brothers next to you. And we kept that close to our heart. So it wasn't like it was just about one player or it was about a few players. It was about the entire team. We all did it for Coach Wooten and the senior class to get them more and more.
Wow. Okay, I see. And that's what I was talking to some of the parents, after the game was won, that was what they were saying. Like, a lot of the parents was like academic first. And a lot of you football players are scholars. And with yourself just coming in as a freshman, how did that, how was that momentum coming in when you played your first game until you got to the state championship? I mean, like what did your coach instill in you? Like, what would be one takeaway that your coach instilled in you, as well as what you instilled in yourself to get you to, to the state championship?
Well, being a freshman and having our own separate team was kind of new for me because I was used to being at the head of the organization, and I was an eighth grader. I was always at the top, and then going back to the bottom of the food chain just kind of changed my perspective on things. And anytime we were down or odds were against us, we always said, so what, now what? So we get punched around and come back. And that's basically what that whole game was about. We're down, we gotta stop, That's all it was. And it was just something that was doing us all year, that we have to be better than the other team. We have to do better. We have to be better, and that's what high school is all about. Being better than the guys that's in front of you, should I say.
Okay. And I think that's what the coach kind of, when we did the press conference, your coach kind of mentioned that. Your coach talked about a brotherhood, about a family. It didn't matter what year you were in, what grade you were in. When you stepped on that field, those are your brothers, your family. So what to you, what makes a good football player?
There's a lot of different. I would say a good football player is someone who can play for other people, someone who's not about them, who's just about getting a scholarship or getting out of high school, someone who's about living in the moment, trying their hardest every play. Football's a 10-yard sport. The best football players do the best in that 10 yards, and that's what Hartley teaches us, to do the best in that 10 yards and get to the next 10 yards and do the best in that 10 yards, just so on and so on.
So it's pretty much just bettering yourself. Every time you go out on the field, you put in 100%, 110%. So you put not even that, you putting your all into it every time you step on that field. So he's saying, so every 10 yards, you need to do better. You need to make it better. Make that play count. So is that what kind of the coach? Okay. Wow. So I can't even imagine, I know how you are, like you said, when that clock went down, I was like, oh my God, like the resilience. I mean, y'all never stop fighting. You never stop fighting. So that kind of leads me to my next question. Like what attributes or, what I would say things that you would take to stand out for you as a player? So like next year, you're going to be a sophomore. So what things would you instill in your brothers who are now going to be coming to the team as new freshmen, as well as what things you think the coach and the juniors and seniors are going to, instill in you now that you're a sophomore to make you prepare for next year? Like what things were said?
Honestly, seeing how I go to Hartley, it's gonna be on my butt 24/7, keeping my grades up, getting in the weight room when I can, eating right. It's just about preparing yourself for the next game. And our next game is next fall, first week 1. That's our next game. That's what we prepare for. We're not worried about tomorrow. Worried about the next game. And that's what they're going to instill in me. I'm going to be the guy. I have to be the guy. That's what they're going to instill. The seniors next year, the juniors, I'm going to be a sophomore, the freshman coming in. We're all going to have the same goal, same mindset, and we can't stray away from it. This is how it is. We all had the same goal at the beginning of this year. Sat in the room, talked about what we wanted to do. We all wanted to go back-to-back state champs. And as soon as everybody put their minds to it, that's what happened. That's what it comes down to. Now, once I get in that game, did any of us think that we were going to lose that game? We played them. Their backs were against the wall. They had all the momentum coming in. They had a better record than us, but it didn't matter. We came out and we won. That's what we do.
And that's
all that matters.
And that's what you did. I mean, because what is his name? They call him. Is his name Mato? Your field goal kicker? Mateo. Listen, Marwan, when he kicked that field goal, I was in the press box. Everybody went bananas because Steubenville kind of had your team on your heels. Y'all was, to me, I think the O-line, and you played both. You play two positions. You play defense. You play defensive back and wide receiver. So you out there, twice. So like you said, it's all about the momentum of eating right. But I was like, when that field goal went through, I was like, everybody in the press box was going crazy. I could see everybody on the field. So I was just like, wow, like how are these guys, these teammates are feeling? And that's all I kept hearing, even in the press conference, even on the field when you all was celebrating, was that brotherhood, that family. So I'm just, congratulations again. So how y'all gonna celebrate on Monday? Can you give me like a small little tidbit how y'all gonna celebrate Monday?
I'm pretty sure the celebration got out Friday night, honestly. But
okay.
Monday we're just gonna walk through school, same mindset, ready for the next game. I think just make sure we're gonna prepare for Monday's the beginning. So we got training camp, we got 7-on-7. We just gotta be ready for it. And Monday's just another school day.
Oh, wow. See,
we gotta take it.
That's a mindset. But I know in reality, Bishop Hartley is gonna be it's probably gonna be all kind of stuff going on. I can, my daughter is in high school, so I can't even imagine the feeling that the school is going to have on Monday. Is just gonna be like, y'all, that was a Super Bowl. That's what I called it. This whole weekend was like the Super Bowl of champions, divisions 1 through 7. And again, Bishop Hartley is Division 4 champions. I congratulate you on your hard work and your effort. But your mom said you about to play b-ball, so you're going in from one sport to the next.
Yeah, I gotta get ready for track. My mind says just football is my main sport. Basketball conditions me for track. Track gets me better for football. It's just a cycle.
Okay, well, I want to come and check you out on the b-ball field because I heard you. I heard you a beast on the hardwood.
Something like that.
Okay, well, I'm going to go and check you out because I heard, y'all got a tough schedule, but your mom said you come to play, so you don't take no prisoners, as I say. So I'm ready to see you because I'm the same way. I love football, and it kind of like right now it kind of transitions into college, so you get a best of both worlds. So right now, hey, is your mom around?
No, she just left.
Okay. Well, you know what, Marwan? I thank you, and I appreciate for you taking your time out your day to speak with me, and have fun tomorrow at school. And I cannot wait to see you on the field because, hey, March is the high school championship for basketball. So if there's any kind of way that you have performed with your team for football, I know I'm going to see you at the championship in March.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And you have a wonderful Sunday. And
thank you. You too.
All right. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, that was Marwan Perkins, Bishop Hartley, 81. Let me just tell you a little bit of stats about him. He is a ninth grader. So this was his first year. So he came out the gate getting a state championship. He's a wide receiver for offense, and he also plays defensive back on defense. So hey, as a ninth grader and you are playing two positions, that just shows the character as well as the motivation and condition that you have to be able to be in two different positions on both sides of the the spectrum, offense and defense. So I know there's a lot of plays that one person has to know to be able to fulfill those positions correctly. He's 6'1", 180. Check him out because he's going to be playing b-ball for Bishop Hartley Hawks. I know that season's just getting started, and then he said he also runs track. So I know if Bishop Hartley, again, like I said, if they played any type of way they played against Steubenville, they're going to be back. I'm going to see them again in March for the boys championship, high school championship. And kind of just give you a background of what happened at the game. Steubenville and Bishop Hartley, they came out blazing. It was a battle of the O's, as I call the offense. The defense was on the field, but not a lot. I mean, that offense, they stayed on the field pretty much throughout the game. And it kind of, let me give you some, let me see, like some third quarter stats where you had, yeah, I have it. Like it was like 0-7 for a while. And then at like going into like the second half, they all started to kick in. Like, the plays, starting to make big plays, moving the ball down the field. So the final score was 31-28. And that set up for Steubenville had the football and the momentum throughout the whole entire game. But I felt as I was watching it, because I was on the field for the first half of the game, that I went up to the press box, because let me tell you about the press box. The press box kind of lets you see another way of how the game is played, because you're kind of seeing it up high. So you're able to kind of see the play as it unfolds. So if you are, like, a seasoned, as I call them, seasoned media representatives, you actually can see the play and you actually can give that play-by-play as the play is unfolding. Me, I'm a newbie about this. So I kind of can talk about the play after the play has already happened. So it was good to be around these seasoned veterans of 25, 35. This one representative from ESPN, he had been in the business for 46. He didn't have a camera. He didn't have no paper. He was just mentally taking notes. So as I was listening to him talking, commentary the game, it was like watching in slow motion, just like watching the game, but then, listening to him commentary the game. And Steubenville, like I said, Steubenville had the momentum, but when they came out second half, it was like a different type of pep in their step. They were more aggressive. They were more, when it came to moving the ball, they moved the ball with a quickness and a swift. They went back to the line. They made changes. They did different types of plays that was different from what we had saw at the beginning, the first two halves of the quarter. So kind of Steubenville kind of had to take like a second guess, of what they were doing. So they kind of switched it up, which was great, because Steubenville had the football and the momentum with about 4 minutes left into the game Friday. And then, listen, in the last 2 seconds of the game, Mato, because Marwan told me his correct name, he kicked a 31-yard field goal with 2 seconds on the clock to pass Steubenville and to win the Division IV state championship at OSU Stadium. And once that clock went to 0, the parents rushed the field, and everything that I kept hearing all weekend long was a brotherhood, a family, motivation, excel, scholar, schoolwork, high respect, how you treat your parents, how you treat your coaching staff. All these were things that were takeaways for me from Division I football players and their coaches to Division VII. These were things. And when I was in the press conference with Bishop Hartley's coach, and his name is, his head coach is Mr. Brad Birchfield. He talked about it in about his boys, about them being family, and about how the younger group, like the freshmen and the sophomores, wanted to make sure that they did everything in their power to send their seniors off, with a blaze. And that was to have back-to-back, because those seniors were last year juniors. So they walked away this year with 2 state championships under their belt. And Marwan, he's a freshman coming in, and the preparations that he said he made to be ready to play at this high level of ball. That means you got to play at a high level every single day. Their 2016 result record was 12-2. Only 2 games lost. That was against Toledo Central Catholic and Columbus St. Francis de Sales. The other games, they were high scoring games. I'm like 45-13, 36-15, 42-7, 56-0 was Lima Central Catholic. And these were away games. A lot of these games weren't even home. They only had 2 home games throughout the whole entire season. So not only are you not in your, in your own home and your own base, you are having to travel. And a lot of these schools are not in the Columbus area. They're outside of the Columbus area. So you had, Mary Franklin, St. DeSales, you had Kilbourne, St. Charles. So yeah, they were in the Columbus area, but you still had to travel, away. So, I've always heard that away games are more harder because, some fans travel, but from what I've seen, Bishop Hartley fans travel. They travel with their team. They make sure that they have that support from fans, in the stands, because that was one of the, besides the Troutwood and Holborn division game, Bishop Hartley and Steubenville had the biggest crowds in the stadium. And they are cheering the loudest and making sure that they are heard. So, I was just excited to be a part of it. Again, I thank Mr. Marwan Perkins for coming on the Move with SportzKelz and just, giving us some reaction of the state division title and what it meant to him. And again, he's already talking about next year, like what he needs to do, keep his grades up, eat right, get in the gym. And he said it, football is his love, basketball is his condition, and track keeps him going. So, that's 365 days around the clock doing, keeping sports and keeping athletic. So a lot of that, it's a testament to his mom, Miss Jackson, and making sure that he stays rooted and grounded. So I am excited. Tune in on Monday, 6 to 8 on the Move with SportzKelz. There will be a lot of more reactions, a lot more talk. I'm kind of going to give you a rundown of each of the division state championships. If you want to see some press conferences and videos and photos, go to my Facebook show page, like the page. Then you will be able to have access to all that great footage that On the Move with SportzKelz got from Thursday to Saturday. Even the times that I was tired, because it is, you're going up and down, and especially when it's just one person versus a lot of the media outlets have more than one person. So one stays in the press box, one goes downstairs. But I wouldn't take anything away from the process that I learned and took in this weekend, because it has motivated me to even be that much more better. I'm ready to blaze in 2007 with my show. There's a lot more down the pipeline, so I'm excited about that. So stay tuned. On the Move with SportzKelz, Sunday edition, signing off. Talk to you on Monday.